Weeks before the iPhone was supposed to change the world, Steve Jobs reached into his pocket and pulled out a scratched screen. He had been carrying a prototype next to his keys and coins, the way anyone carries a phone, and the plastic cover came back scuffed and clouded. A scratch that late on the product meant to define the company was a real problem. Hold on to that image because it is not even the closest call. By the time Jobs walked on stage in January 2007, the phone in his hand still could not survive a demo without crashing. The iPhone we treat as inevitable spent years as a chain of near misses. Here is how many there were. It almost never got built. Jobs did not want Apple to make a phone. Engineer Andy Grignon later said Jobs didn't really see the path to success, and it took a late-night email from Apple Vice President Michael Bell on November 7, 2004, then hours of argument, before Jobs agreed to move forward. His hesitation was not stubbornness. The iPod was Apple's profit engine in the mid-2000s, and a phone that played music and reached the internet could swallow it whole. Building the iPhone meant aiming Apple's next product straight at its best one. The company decided it would rather kill the iPod itself than wait for a competitor to do it. Even once the project was approved, Apple did not know what the phone was. The work happened in secret, under the codename Project Purple. Inside a locked building the team called the Purple Dorm, badge readers and cameras on the doors. Scott Forstall later testified they hung a Fight Club sign there because the rule was that what happened inside stayed inside. Behind that door, two teams built two different phones. Tony Fadell's group built one around the iPod's click wheel. Forstall's group built a multi-touch device running a stripped-down version of Mac OS X. The iPhone you know is the one that won an internal fight, and it could easily have been the other one, which brings us back to the pocket and the scratch. Jobs gathered his engineers and told them the plastic had to become glass. Not for the next model, for the phone shipping in months. That one demand became a manufacturing crisis. He pushed Corning to mass-produce a scratch-resistant glass on roughly a 6-month deadline tied to the launch, and Corning's chief executive, Wendell Weeks, has said the company did not yet have the capacity to make it and had to convert an entire plant to hit the schedule. One scuffed prototype had become a factory racing the calendar. Apple did not have a clear field either. In December 2006, LG announced the Prada, a touchscreen phone with no keypad, and it reached buyers in May 2007 before the iPhone. It is widely credited as the first phone with a capacitive touchscreen. It was not the same class of device, no multi-touch, a smaller and lower resolution screen, far less storage. But it meant Apple was not walking into an empty room. Then came the riskiest bet of all. In 2007, before selling a single unit, Apple locked the iPhone to one U.S. carrier with a 5-year exclusivity deal with AT&T, a term later confirmed in court filings. The whole launch now rested on one partner holding up its end. All of it led to the morning everyone remembers as effortless. It was anything but. In roughly 100 full rehearsals before the January 9th keynote, Jobs reportedly never once finished the demo without the software glitching. The team mapped a single safe sequence of taps that dodged the known bugs and called it the golden path. To keep the live demo from collapsing, they rigged the phones to always show full signal bars regardless of real reception, and lined up backup units so Jobs could swap devices the instant one froze, or ran low on memory. From the seats, it looked like a finished product beamed in from the future. Backstage, it was a controlled near miss held together by memorization and hidden props. So the iPhone did not arrive because Apple executed a confident plan. It arrived because a small team kept defusing one disaster after another until the clock ran out and there was no time left to fail. Every one of those saves had to break the right way, in the right order, with no second try. So when you unlock your phone today, you are not touching the product of a master plan. You are touching the version that survived.